Hey guys, what's up? Josh Feuerstein here. So there's an article that's going viral, a picture of a dad that went to Walmart, took back one of his son's toys that he had gotten for his birthday that he didn't care for, and he let his son go back to the toy department and choose whatever toy he wanted to, only for his little boy to pick out a little girl's toy, a Little Mermaid doll. And, well, the dad says, I'm gonna let you choose. And everybody's loving this dad in the picture that he posted to Facebook because he's letting his son choose and express who he really wants to be.
Let me guess. You have some kind of problem with this parent letting his son choose whatever the fuck kind of toy he wants to have. God, I need alcohol for this. Roll intro.
Engineer, a conscious pioneer, a logic general, a reason brigadier. More bullshit from the pulpit. Meet me in the comment section and you get schooled, bitch. The Godless Engineer.
Okay, Josh Feuerstein, what is your first problem with this kid picking out whatever the fuck kind of toy that he wants to pick out? I can't imagine what kind of fucking problem you would have with a small child picking out whatever the fuck kind of toy he wants to have. You petulant fucking child yourself.
Really? Since when do kids make good choices? We live in this society that thinks that kids are supposed to make choices like that and that we're not supposed to choose for them. We're supposed to let them express themselves. Seriously, since when do kids make good choices? If you give a kid a choice between playing in the yard or playing in the street, if he picks the street, are you just going to say, sure, go out there, just have a good time? If you give a kid a choice, he's probably going to choose candy over peas and carrots. It doesn't mean it's what's good for him. That's why the Bible says, train up a child in the way that he should go. Why? Because kids need to know that it's not just filling, son. What's 1 plus 1? Well, maybe he doesn't say 2. Maybe he says, 83. Well, does it feel like 83 to you? Because if 83 is how you express yourself, no, I'm going to tell him the truth. 1 plus 1 is 2. Why? Because then he's going to grow up just not even learning how to use math.
Sorry, I need more alcohol in order to really take in everything that you said, because I really had to play at a handicap in order to bring myself down to a level to where it's kind of, actually kind of a level playing field here. I mean, I really do feel like you're at a disadvantage with me being at peak performance. So just one. Alright, Josh, this is how it is, okay? What you just pulled is a false equivalency fallacy. In case you don't know what that is, and I'm guessing you don't because you don't look up shit, you don't try to learn from anything, you just spout off at the mouth with whatever comes to your mind. You don't have that filter in your head that stops you from talking. Now, the false equivalency here is that this menial choice between toys that a child can pick is tantamount to either allowing that child to play in a dangerous area of the neighborhood or allowing him to play in the yard, or making him play in a safe area of the neighborhood. Or it's either between a nutritious meal that you're supposed to feed your kid, or if it's just feeding your kid junk food all the goddamn time. On one side, you don't have just these menial, small choices that clearly affect a bigger picture thing. Whereas choosing a toy is so trivial, Josh, I don't even know why it's bothering you, other than the fact that a father is not parenting the way that you want him to. So, for fuck's sake, if you're not going to get on the internet and bitch about it. And your little math thing here is a complete non sequitur. It has no, it's another false equivalency because, allowing your kid to think 1 plus 1 equals 83 is in no way the same fucking thing as letting them pick a different toy. It's picking a different toy, Josh. And going back to your little thing about to train up a child, I do believe a certain old man that kind of looks like an abusive Santa Claus likes to beat kids with pipes in order to train up their children. Yeah, in their little book, they teach you how to make a kid so scared of you that they just curl up in fear, and that's how you get them to obey them. So I'm just kind of curious here. Are you putting forth this idea that in order to train up your child, you've got to do it in the way of the Bible, which would, in fact, be the way that these people, Michael Pearl, would suggest that you train up your child with a fucking pipe to the rib cage so that it doesn't leave any kind of bruises? Is that what you're telling me here, Josh? Because you're using the Bible. He uses the Bible. Sure, you're interpreting it different ways, but fuck, it's the Bible. It's the same goddamn thing. It's the same goddamn text. I feel sorry for your goddamn children right now.
So me, I train up a boy in the way that he should go by teaching him how to use a firearm, teaching him how to use a gun and proper gun safety. See, my son Samuel, he's learning today as we're in the backyard.
Okay, and right here, you're using a false dilemma fallacy. Because you're saying that the only way to really train up your boy really good, or train up your children in general, apparently, is to teach them how to shoot a gun. Which, by the way, as you'll see in a few minutes, isn't actually a real fucking gun. It's just a little air pistol. And that is in no way actually training them to do anything with an actual gun there, Josh. All you're doing is letting them shoot a BB gun, mind you, probably plastic BBs out in the backyard, because you know what? You can't actually shoot a gun inside the city limits, you dumbass. So by you calling it a gun, it could be construed as a straw man, because you're not actually teaching them how to shoot a gun. And also, if you were actually teaching them how to shoot a gun, maybe you should use some head protection, some ear protection. Maybe you should put some glasses on that little motherfucker, huh? Maybe you should actually teach him how to properly shoot a gun, instead of getting on your phone, shooting in portrait mode, trying to act like a decent father in your backyard with a little BB pistol, and actually teach him how to shoot a gun. If you're going to be this much of a Southerner, which you're not, you're an Arizona motherfucker.
And guess what? For all of you liberal, spineless, no good, coward kind of people, since you want to be gender neutral, guess who else I'm teaching to use a gun? My daughters. They're learning how to use a gun.
Motherfucker, I know girls down here that shoot way harder shit than your girls are shooting right now. They actually have tournaments down here where girls are shooting 308s and shit, and they're just right around your girl's age. So guess what? You're gonna have to try a little bit harder than that.
So Samuel, take that gun right there. You know how to hold it. And why don't you go ahead and hit that target right there and fire. Hit it? Yeah, good. That's gun control, ladies and gentlemen.
No, Josh, that's not gun control, because that's not a gun. That's not a firearm. That's what you mean by gun, I'm assuming. I mean, there's a colloquial use of gun nowadays, which is anything that looks like a gun. I mean, my son, he has guns in there, but one of his guns is a sword that he holds like a gun. It's not a firearm in the way that you're indicating here, because you're indicating that you're teaching him how to shoot a gun. That's not a gun. So I guess, in this case, straw man fallacy.
That's gun control. A boy that knows how to properly fire a gun. I'm going to teach my daughter, too. That's for you, guy who has no cojones, who needs to grow a pair and be a dad and train a child. We teach good family values around here, not that sissy stuff that you read on the liberal news media. God bless. Have a great day. Click share if you care.
Now, you'd suppose that I'd probably call ad hom on him at this point, considering that he says that, oh, you have no cojones. As if saying cojones makes it sound all cool and shit. Now, you see, down here in the South, we just like to come out right with it and be like, you ain't got no balls. Okay? They're not really ad homs here because, I mean, this is just being generally insulting. he's not saying that I'm wrong necessarily in training my children like this. He might be saying that I'm weak by it, but he's not saying that I'm wrong in it necessarily. But he does use a denying the antecedent in this case, because he's saying, if you're raising your kids like me, then you're providing good family values. You're obviously not training or raising your kids like me. Therefore, you're not providing good family values. This is denying the antecedent. Because what he's denying is he's denying that if portion of the statement, and then concluding that the conclusion part of the statement or the then portion of the statement is false too. That's not how it works in logic at all. Just because it fails there does not mean that it also fails in the conclusion. So you're wrong on this point. At least in your logic. It doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong in general, but you're not reasoning this well. I'm the Godless Engineer. Thank you for joining me today on this Fallacy Friday. If you will, go down below, leave me a comment. If I left out a fallacy and you noticed it, leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on what Josh has said here in this particular video. Go down below, leave me those thoughts. If this is your first time here, subscribe, motherfucker.